Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the latest Hotel Transylvania film, Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. Like I said, this is the third installment of the franchise. This time around, you guys, Dracula's looking for a love interest again. It's been a long time since his wife passed away. He's looking for somebody. He's tried all kinds of things. He's tried online dating. He's tried all this kind of stuff. And basically, he's getting stressed out about it. He has the hotel that he has to run on top of all that. So basically, one day his daughter Mavis, voiced by Selena Gomez, comes up to him and says that all these monsters really need a vacation. He needs a vacation. She needs one. So they all talk about this big monster cruise ship, where it's basically a cruise ship intended for monsters, and all of them go over there. They're flown over there by this like little gremlin plane thing that basically is a plane for monsters also. So they get there, and there's this really beautiful woman that is the captain of the ship that Dracula immediately falls in love with. And so he's trying to win the heart of this woman over the course of this cruise. The cruise basically covers many different things. They go to many different places. One of the most notable places in this movie that they go to is Atlantis, and there's actually a big thing that happens there that I can't get into too much detail on. But throughout the course of this movie, they also go over some background history that Dracula had. I guess the vampire hunter Van Helsing, who has been after him for numerous decades, numerous centuries, and he was always threatening Dracula that he was going to come and get him one day, that it's going to come to him one day, whether he's dead or alive. As to how the monsters are all going to die off, not just the vampires, not just Dracula. Van Helsing wanted to get all these monsters dead. So that also works its way into this movie. It's very easy to pick up once you're watching the movie, but I guess just to really play it safe, I'm not even going to say which character is related to all this and still all that kind of thing. But over the course of this movie, these monsters are trying to enjoy this cruise vacation on, during the summertime, and there's conflicts they run into as far as what the cruise ship really is, what the people who are running this cruise ship really want of these monsters, why it's specifically for monsters and not humans. That's also revealed. So all these things are covered over the course of this new Hotel Transylvania film, Summer Vacation. So overall, guys, I enjoyed this movie. Not the best in the franchise. I'm going to tell you that right out front. I really enjoyed the Hotel Transylvania films thus far. I really love the first one. It's probably my favorite one of the franchise. I really enjoyed the second one too. It's nothing phenomenal, but I think it is a very good sequel for the first movie. I thought the whole thing with Dracula and the monsters trying to figure out if the grandson's more human or monster. I thought that element of the second movie was a lot of fun. I also liked the aspect of Mavis going into the human world and learning more about that before she marries into the character that's voiced by Andy Samberg. I thought that was a fun aspect of the second one too. So I enjoyed this third one. I really do feel like they should stop here, though. Not to say that a fourth one couldn't be great if they decide to go with a fourth Hotel Transylvania film, but I really think they should stop right here. I enjoy the film that was made. I think it's a nice final bow for this franchise. But I really think, for creativity purposes, for enjoyment purposes, I think it can end here safely. But who knows? Maybe this film will make a ton of money, and it's gonna almost guarantee a fourth one. So I really guess I don't have any voice on that. But from me personally, I think the franchise should end at this third movie. I think it should be a trilogy. End it here. I think just doing the fourth one is just going to retread exactly what these first three films have done. I really don't know where they can go for a fourth film. So I guess that's another problem I have with another one being made. But anyway, let's get back to the third one with my positives and negatives. For my positives, first and foremost, this is a very fun movie to watch. I was entertained the entire time. It's fun, like I said. You really do have fun with these monsters, so it's not a boring movie. You really do feel like you are having fun watching these monsters go on this vacation, kind of finding their niche, finding what they're going to have fun with the entire cruise ship and everything like that. So I thought that aspect was a lot of fun. Also, when these monsters go to Atlantis, I thought that aspect was a lot of fun. There's a casino. They go scuba diving. They do all this stuff that really kind of lets these monsters do things that we haven't seen them do in the franchise yet. And so I guess that for me, that was fun for the simple reason that we get to see these monsters do things that we don't really get to see them do a lot. So I thought when they got to Atlantis, the use of Atlantis was a lot of fun, and how they handle the Kraken, because yes, the Kraken is in this movie. How they handle that character, I thought was a lot of fun too. This film plays off of monster stereotypes all the time. So if a character's spiky, they're going to play off the fact that putting scuba gear on this monster is going to be really tough. They just do things that, like Dracula eating guacamole, and it's loaded with garlic oil, and how someone think that might kill him. And so they show kind of a different way of how that would play out based off of the stereotype of vampires and garlic and all that kind of stuff. So there's all kind of small stuff like that that makes Hotel Transylvania 3 a lot of fun. They still have fun with the monster stereotypes in this movie. This is a consistent, entertaining franchise as well. So going back to the fun aspect, this franchise I really feel is consistent and fun. It's the same kind of fun for each installment. So it's not a franchise that really does something completely new every time, but it's consistent in the way that it's entertaining and how they go about making it fun and everything. So I thought that aspect was a lot of fun too. This also has a very fun voice cast. Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Catherine Hahn has a new voice role in this movie. Chrissy Teigen, I was surprised to hear in this movie, had a voice role in this. Great to see her in this movie. It was just a fun voice cast. Like the end credits, I think for all of them always have like a 2D animated sequence for the names for the credits and everything. So it was fun seeing all the people who got to be a part of this movie, just like in the previous two. Just a fun voice cast I thought was assembled for this movie. There's also these anchovy butlers that work on the cruise ship, and they kind of remind me of the anchovies in SpongeBob SquarePants. So I thought they were a ton of fun to watch. They even show them kind of when they go back to the hotel and everything, kind of what the anchovies do with that. So I thought that was a kind of a fun addition of characters that they added to this movie. So if you like the anchovies in the SpongeBob TV show, I feel like the anchovies in Hotel Transylvania are kind of in that same vein. For my negatives of Hotel Transylvania 3, though, this is an overall very predictable movie. I was definitely not surprised by anything that was shown in this movie. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Very predictable, like I said. It just really doesn't throw you any surprises. So for those, that might be a plus. But for me personally, I don't mind being surprised every once in a while. I want a plot twist that will surprise me in a good way. And unfortunately, Hotel Transylvania 3 is not that movie, so it is very predictable in that sense. I also feel, like I said, going back to the whole thing about them not having to make Hotel Transylvania 4, I really feel like this film specifically needs more than just a change in setting. I really do feel like you need to do more with this franchise rather than just putting them from the hotel onto a cruise ship. There really needs to be more that needs to happen. So for me personally, this franchise really needs more than just a change in setting. I really think they can work on that somehow. This film's also not very humor heavy. It's probably the least funniest of the three Hotel Transylvania films. Like I said, it's a fun film, it's an entertaining film. It's just probably the least funniest of the three, and it's just not as humor heavy as the first two films are. Also, to me personally, nothing really felt inspired or original in this movie. There really wasn't anything in this movie that I'm really going to hold on to for a long period of time, or really anything in this film that felt super original in any way. So for me personally, I thought that was kind of a letdown. And then my last negative for this movie too is I thought some of the supporting characters were very weak this time. In Hotel Transylvania 1 and in the second one also, I thought at least some of the supporting characters were given more to do and they were more involved with the plot in some way. Like for example in this movie, like Frankenstein's wife really doesn't get anything to do in this. Chrissy Teigen plays the Invisible Man's wife, I think, in this too, and she really doesn't get a lot to do for being one of her first major voice roles in a movie. Even the Wolfman's wife in this really doesn't get a lot to do. So I thought some of the supporting characters could have been given more interesting things to do in this movie too. But overall, I'm going to give Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's an enjoyable, fun time at the theater. I think you can have fun watching this movie, but like I said, it is very predictable. They really need to do more than just change the setting to make these films work in the future if they want to make more of these films. Some of the supporting characters felt really weak this time around. This film really wasn't that humor heavy as the way it should have been. I really think they could have had more humor in this movie. And like I said, nothing really felt inspired or original in this movie. And that's kind of too bad because I thought the first two Hotel Transylvania films did so well with that. It's too bad that this third film couldn't feel that way as well. But 8.5 out of 10 for me. It's an enjoyable, fun time. If you enjoy these Hotel Transylvania films, I think you can have fun with this movie. It's just nothing game changing. It's not going to make you crave a fourth one. But if you want to have one third and hopefully final time with Hotel Transylvania, I think it's a fun time at the theater. I give it my recommendation.